A local business was looking for office help. They put a sign in the window saying the following: "Help wanted. Must be able to type, must be good with a computer, and must be bilingual. We are an equal opportunity employer." A short time afterwards, a dog trotted up to the window, saw the sign, and went inside. He looked at the receptionist and wagged his tail, then walked over to the sign, looked at it, and whined. Getting the idea, the receptionist got the office manager. The office manager looked at the dog and was surprised, to say the least. However, the dog looked determined, so he led him into the office. Inside, the dog jumped up on the chair and stared at the manager. The manager said, "I can't hire you. The sign says you have to be able to type." The dog jumped down, went to the typewriter, and proceeded to type out a perfect letter. He took out the page and trotted over to the manager and gave it to him, then jumped back on the chair. The manager was stunned, but then told the dog, "The sign says you have to be good with a computer." The dog jumped down again and went to the computer. The dog proceeded to demonstrate his expertise with various programs and produced a sample spreadsheet and database and presented them to the manager. By this time, the manager was totally dumbfounded. He looked at the dog and said, "I realize that you are a very intelligent dog and have some interesting abilities. However, I still can't give you the job." The dog jumped down and went to a copy of the sign and put his paw on the part about being an equal opportunity employer. The manager said, "Yes, but the sign also says that you have to be bilingual." The dog looked at him straight in the face and said, "Meow." Sean, who had a bit of a reputation for chasing other men's wives, goes to his buddy Liam and says, "I'm with Danny's wife. Can you keep him chatting at church for an hour after Mass?" Liam isn't too happy about it, but loyalty wins out, so he agrees. After Mass, Liam corners Danny and starts rambling, asking the most random, pointless questions just to keep him there. After a while, Danny frowns and says, "All right, Liam, what's going on?" Feeling the guilt kick in, Liam sighs and says, "Sean's with your wife right now, so he asked me to keep you busy." Danny pauses, then smiles, pats Liam on the shoulder, and says, "You might want to head home, lad. My wife passed away last year." One evening, a blonde went to a seafood restaurant for dinner. When she saw the tank where they kept the lobsters, she asked a waiter, "Why are those creatures in that tank?" "They are the lobsters we serve our customers," answered the waiter. "You mean you're going to kill them?" said the blonde. "Absolutely," said the waiter. The blonde was so upset that she immediately left, drove to a nearby convenience store, purchased some hefty bags, and returned to the restaurant to accomplish her covert mission. Taking pity on the poor creatures, she waited until the moment was right, snatched all of the lobsters from the tank, threw them in the bag, and hightailed it out of the restaurant. Later, she went to the woods to set the poor animals free. Thick Mick turns to his mate and says, "I'm going to be a lion tamer." His mate laughs. You don't know the first thing about taming lions." Mick shrugs. "I do. I've seen it loads of times on TV." "All right then," his mate says, "if a lion charges at you, roaring and snapping, what are you going to do?" Mick replies, "I'll grab that big chair they use and shove it in his face till he backs off." "Okay, but what if the lion swipes it away with those claws?" "I'll use the whip and crack it till he backs down. And if he bites the whip in half, I'll pull out the gun and shoot him." "And what if the gun doesn't work?" Mick grins. "I'll grab some of the crap off the floor, throw it in his eyes, and run." His mate shakes his head. "But what if there's no crap on the floor?" Mick pauses, then says, "If that lion's coming at me, the chair's gone, the whip's snapped, and the gun's useless. I promise you, there'll be plenty of crap on the floor." A man walks into a bar with a monkey. He sits down and orders a beer. The monkey runs around from chair to table. He goes crazy, jumping all over, then leaps up onto the pool table, picks up the cue ball, and eats it. The bartender, furious over the monkey's behavior, yells, "Hey, your monkey just ate my cue ball. Now get out of here and take that animal with you." The man gets up, apologizes, and leaves. 1 week later, the man comes back to the bar with the monkey. He sits down and orders a beer. The monkey starts up again, jumping all over, swinging around, and landing on the bar. In front of him is a bowl of grapes. He picks up a grape, sticks it up his ass, pulls it out, and then eats it. The bartender, who had been watching the whole event, is livid. He yells, "That is disgusting. Why did your monkey just stick a grape up his ass, pull it back out, then eat it?" The man replied, "Ever since that cue ball, he makes sure everything fits." Christmas was coming, and little Johnny's parents took him to the mall to see Santa. Johnny hopped onto Santa's lap and said, "Santa, I want a new fucking baseball bat, and I want it under my fucking bed. I want a new fucking baseball glove, and I want it under the fucking tree. And I want a new fucking bike, and I want it under the fucking tarp in the fucking shed." Santa was stunned. He pulled Johnny's parents aside and said, "In all my years, I've never heard a kid talk like that." His parents sighed. "We know, we've tried everything. Nothing works." Santa thought for a moment and said, "All right, here's the plan. Wherever he asked for a present, we'll put a pile of dog poop instead. Let's see if that teaches him something." Christmas morning came. Johnny ran to look under his bed. Poop. He ran downstairs to the tree. More poop. He ran to the shed, threw back the tarp. Another pile of poop. Johnny walked outside, scratching his head and looking around the yard. His parents, trying not to smirk, asked, "So, little Johnny, what did you get for Christmas?" Johnny said, "Well, I think I got a stupid dog, but I can't find the little f***er anywhere." An attractive blonde walks into a casino. The two board dealers look at her, and their eyes spark up. The blonde then makes a huge bet of $100,000 on a roll of the die. Before she rolls, she asks the dealers whether she could take her top off. The two dealers immediately agree. The blonde takes her top off and proceeds with the roll. Then she screams, "I won. I won. Oh my God, I did it." After the blonde left with her cash, the two dealers stare at each other, dumbfounded. "Did you see what she rolled?" One dealer asked the other. "Nah, man, I thought you were watching." An hour into an Airbus 380 flight from London to New York, a young blonde in economy stands up, gathers her purse from the overhead locker, and struts up to and through the dividing curtain and sits her ass down into a first-class seat. The flight attendant rushes quickly over to check her ticket, and after she does so, she says, "Ma'am, you paid for an economy seat. This is the first-class section. Could you please return to your allocated seat?" The blonde replies, "Hey, listen and listen good. I'm blonde. I'm beautiful. I'm going to New York, and I'm staying right here." She point-blank refuses to move, so the flight attendant has no option but to tell the pilot and co-pilot about the situation. The co-pilot comes out to see her and tries to explain, but the blonde repeats, "I'm blonde. I'm beautiful. I'm going to New York, and I'm staying right here." He comes back and tells the pilot. The pilot says, "She's blonde? Don't worry, I've got this. I speak blonde. After all, I'm married to one." He comes out of the cockpit and walks to where the blonde is sitting, whispering something in her ear. After moments, the blonde stands up and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and returns to her seat in economy. Everyone is stunned. "What on earth did you say to her?" they all ask. He smiled and replied, "I told her first class isn't going to New York."